Welcome to Home and Away, a Tottenham Hotspur podcast hosted by myself, Graeme Spice, and Glen Cowie, where we talk about all things Tottenham Hotspur from both the match attending and international supporters' view. This episode will be reviewing the Liverpool match from Sunday and previewing the Atletico match tomorrow night, plus all the chaos around the club. A lot to get through, so let's get into it.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day, home and away.
Glenn, are you good?
Yeah, mate. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, really good, actually, after that performance. As we said on the last episode, Richard, I actually texted him my Saturday night and said, thanks for the G-up to actually watch the game. I didn't watch it live. I was so glad I did watch the whole game and didn't know the score. Like, I started it about 7 my Monday morning. Even, I'd be interested to get your view, but, I found it to be... Oh, some of the same mistakes were prevalent. Like there was, I think there was one where Spence or Porro just passed it out, or it just went out for a throw in. I was trying to do stupid tricks in the middle of the park. I thought Dragusin had a few shockers, but on the whole, do you know what was there was effort.
And fair play.
Yeah,
players that we've really have come in for a lot of stick really turned up, didn't they? I mean, even Dragusin, I thought maybe made
if
one
it
or two
wasn't for
mistakes.
him, if you look at the very end when they broke on us, if it wasn't for him, they might have scored.
I actually think him and Danso in the back two worked all right. I think he looked less exposed than he did in the three, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And actually the four, it suited us, right? Much more. And I was a bit worried about us getting overrun in midfield, like as a 3 against a 2. But it didn't happen really, did it? Not often.
It didn't happen at all, really. I mean,
considering we basically had a couple of 8s running up and down the pitch.
Yeah. And a lot of the pundits and I don't know which commentary team, you probably have Sky Sports. I had the insufferable Jim Beglin, and he's so pro-Liverpool, it does my head in. Like, for example, I won't try and pronounce his full name, but he has Rio on the back. That was a dive for the penalty, trying to cheat the ref. Why didn't he get booked?
Yeah.
Why didn't he get booked for that?
And also, it's like the threshold for a penalty from someone pulling someone back seems to be very different if it's a Tottenham player or someone else, right?
Well, Richarlison, I tell you what, that was the VDV all over him. And do you think if Richarlison goes down, it gives VAR a decision to make? Because it's not the referee to make that decision, really. It's going to go to VAR. Like, do you think that
the thing is, right, I'm quite critical of Richarlison's constant throwing himself on the ground.
Yeah.
And it just annoys the shit out of me. But sometimes he's in a good position to do something and he goes down with next to no pressure. So I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't say I'm pleased he tried to get a shot away. But yeah, you're probably right. At least he gives them something to make a decision on, right? And they'd have to look at it. And if you based on the one that was given against us and the red card that came with it as well, it's like it just it happens all the time, right? It's like
different.
It's in the same weekend you can watch 3 matches with almost carbon copy fouls. One will get nothing, one will get a yellow card, the other one will get sent off. And I think that's what frustrates supporters the most, right? It's the lack of consistency. Not the fact that things are given or not given. It's just that you then see something against you that's exactly the same and nothing gets done or said about it.
What did you make of Richarlison as an entity for the game? I thought he really deserved his goal, but then I thought said goal, he completely shanked it. If you look, he doesn't actually make
it's
a good
almost
contact.
Off his shin, isn't it?
Yeah.
But fuck it, it's in.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Mawani actually did really well in the build-up to that for the assist.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was really strong. He really held.
Yeah,
the player.
Absolutely, he was. Yeah.
Was it Van Dijk?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
there's an amazing photograph of Richarlison running off to celebrate and Van Dijk just with his head in his hands, knowing it's happened.
Yeah.
But a lot
and
of
it had to be him as well. He absolutely loves scoring against Liverpool, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
more than
it.
Any other club.
Because a lot of the pundits were really banging the drum on how bad Liverpool were. But the thing is, we've played teams across this season where they have not been good and we haven't taken advantage.
No,
right?
We've still been pumped.
Yeah. So Chelsea comes to mind. But they weren't
I didn't think Arsenal were that good when they played this evening.
Agreed. Yeah. So, I mean, I thought the effort was there. we actually took advantage of a situation where Liverpool, they weren't that good, but we actually pushed home the advantage to get something from the game. And it was one of those, right, where I could see it eking away from us and being a 1-0 defeat, but almost a moral victory that we played really well. So I was so happy that we got the
I was as well. I thought that even at 1-0, I thought if we come away with a 1-0, well, considering, I don't know, I can't remember what your prediction was for the game, but I predicted we get pumped 4-1.
I think I said 3-1,
So, like, actually, I mean, anything, a 1-0 defeat, I'd have been happy with that because a goal difference might end up being important, right?
Yeah.
But to take a point, especially given that both the other matches that had been a draw, right, as well, we were level on before the match. We were level on points with West Ham.
There was a lot of pressure
Forest.
going into that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pressure,
especially because those games had happened before us as well.
And it's almost like I never subscribed to the school of thought that Liverpool away game is a game that we just need to take a free hit on and bin it off. I'm like, no, like if we need to get something here because Boris, we would level. It was all only on goal difference, wasn't it? That we were out the drop zone.
Well, we picked up 2 points since January against City and Liverpool. It doesn't make any sense, does it?
It's absolutely
And we've lost all the shit teams.
We never get anything at Anfield. When was the last time we actually got something there? Was it?
We got a draw. We did get a draw a couple of seasons ago, I think.
Was it under Conte?
Probably, 2-2.
Yeah, it's been a while, but we were fully deserving at that point. I also want to give a bit of a shout out to the, and I think it just gives everybody a lift as fans around the club to see 2 youth products come on.
Yeah. Roswell and is it
Oloesi?
Yeah.
Oloesi.
So it was really good.
He's played before, but in Europe.
Yes.
That was their Premier League debuts at Anfield.
Is he one of the ones that scored, of the 3 of them that scored in at Mode? Because he's been out on loan and he's come back off loan, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it
because we had three youth players scored, didn't they, in that?
Yeah. I think it was him. But fair play to Tudor, right? I don't think he had a great deal of choice because we named a very...
Mind you, no, you say that, but Xavi was on the bench, right?
Xavi came on though, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was on the bench.
Yeah, true.
He made a decision to leave him out.
Yeah. Fair play. Yeah, he made some big calls.
Yeah,
and apparently, I don't know if you've seen it. I thought the Sky Sports interview was a disgrace right after the game.
They're absolute fuckers, aren't they?
It's like they were pressing him on the future of the club and and he's like, I'm the coach.
Yeah.
Go away.
Let's talk about the match we just played and maybe the one we're going to play next week. But anything apart from that, he's off limits. I wouldn't engage them. I just wouldn't. I think they've been really awful to him.
There's
do you know that? I think it's a turning point for me. I feel like everyone can see something in that match. But we really need to, I think we need a good performance tomorrow night, right? We can talk about that match in a bit more detail in a bit, but I'm hoping that there's a bit of belief in the players, but also in the supporters that they might turn up and really cheer them on. So I just, and then I hope, but get good. Even if we win 2-0 tomorrow night and we still go out, I take that as a moral victory into the next match. So we're going to Forest knowing that we've beaten a pretty good Atletico side at home, and then all of a sudden, you got the whole team's got a bit of a lift, and Forest aren't exactly brimming with confidence at the moment. They lost, they drew at home, didn't they, to Fulham?
They can't hit a barn door, mate. They're so blunt up front. There's no Chris Wood causing problems. But just going back to your point around something maybe to cling on to and a bit of belief. There's for the Forest game, there's a plan. All protests have been cancelled, rightly so, because this is not the time to protest. This is a time to get behind the team. So it's show up, sing up, stay up. 11:30 a.m. The bricklayers on the high road greet the team coach as the players arrive. Everton did this when they were going to. When it went to the last day or the second to last game, there was flares, bit of a siege mentality. We've got to start to do this because it's a dire situation. You can moan about it.
I think the thing is for teams like Everton who have flirted with relegation so many seasons, they're one of the only, them and us and Arsenal. There's a very small number of teams that haven't been relegated.
That haven't been relegated from the Premier League. It's Chelsea, Liverpool,
Man United,
Arsenal, Everton and Spurs. I think it's that.
Yeah. I think everyone else has been up or down at least once.
Everyone else has been up or down because you think Man City, Newcastle, Villa, they've all had leads. They've all had their wobbles, right? Yeah. So I kind of want to preserve that. And also I don't want to be labelled a championship team particularly.
No, but that was the first time I saw something that made me think maybe there's still a chance. Because I
What did
was
you
really
make of
utterly when we recorded last week, I was 100% convinced there was nothing left in the tank.
I wasn't going to watch it, as we know. I was going to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I just felt I watched it. Actually, I watched. I'd listened to the first half in the car. I had to drop Josh back off because we had everyone round for Mother's Day, and I dropped him off. And then I watched the second half, and then I went back and watched the whole thing again later on because it was actually worth watching. I really enjoyed the game. I felt that we really turned up, and I think that has not been the case a lot of times this season. So we just need to learn from that and do it again. And the fact that it was such a piecemeal team, such a thrown together team.
Well, Gallagher, by all accounts, they were planning to have him in the side, right? It was quite 11th hour.
He had a virus, and they were hoping he'd be back, but
but was it off air? I think you were saying it's asthma. I didn't know about.
I think he's. I mean, I've got the same thing happened to me, right? I've got asthma, not bad, but when I get like a really bad virus or something, and I get like chest infection, it really exacerbates it, and all the things that you would take to alleviate the asthma agitate the infection, so you get this like you end up really it can make you really ill. And I guess that's something like that. So again, he's doubtful. That maybe not doubtful, but he's not 100%. He'll be available tomorrow even. So we shall see.
Do you think now the talk also stops of any change in manager again? I mean, do you think that comes? Do you think that rears its head again if we do, dare I say, lose to Forest?
I think once we've played Forest, as long as things are kind of ticking along okay, we don't lose to Forest, right? I think of all the things that happen, getting at least a point against Forest is an absolute must, right? I think we really need to win it, but we can't afford to lose to them because they will go above us, and West Ham could go above us as well. So we need to maintain ourselves above West Ham and Forest, and that happens if we don't let them beat us.
Well, I noticed something when Richarlison scored. I looked at Tudor and I looked at the coaching staff. It meant a lot to them.
Oh, yeah.
So there's something.
He's had a lot of pressure. Imagine that, what a pressure cooker it must have been for him. Like parachuted in, you've got one job, and your first 4 matches are unmitigated disaster. It must be so difficult to kind of even you must question everything about yourself and your beliefs in football and how you want to play and whether it's possible or not. And fair play to him. I got a lot of time for him now. I think
it was obviously offline from the pod, but Richard, after our episode last week, we've got obviously a WhatsApp community group, and they're segmented by geographies, right? So in the New Zealand, Australia one, Richard was chatting, and I think he made a really good point in the new manager bounce. Is it actually, I think the overall point he was making is the new manager bounce not really a thing and a bit pointless if you were to win your first 2 or 3 games but still end up in the same position, i.e. going down, or do you just forego that bounce for the output that is the desired output, which is to stay up? So let's say that's Tudor's record, but now he goes on a run and he happens to draw 1 and win 7 of the last 8 games. It's going to take time.
You need the points. Doesn't matter what order they come in. You just need the points.
Yeah.
The way I looked at it, I was thinking about it a bit this afternoon. That now we've got a point. So from the 9 games we had left, we have a point. So if we average a point a game for the rest of the season, we're probably safe.
Yeah.
So I think even under Frank, we were averaging that.
Well, and also football, football historically goes in a bit of a cycle in the sense of form. So even if you look at Burnley, right?
Yeah.
Burnley they couldn't buy a win. Wolves couldn't buy a win. And then they've managed to string a few results together. And if you look at the form table, they're actually quite good.
Yeah.
And the same can go for West Ham. And probably to a degree, Forest have had less of a bit of a form uptick. We have not. Our form has been atrocious.
Yeah.
But
we flatlined for like
correct.
A few months.
Is our turn in form due to happen? Right. So you look at West Ham, maybe looking over there, saying, "Oh, hang about. We've had our bounce, we've had our form, and we're still behind. We're still behind them, and we're yet to hit our stride." And
I think the other thing as well, right, is that Tudor's had to deal with the absolute lack of players. Right, it almost doesn't matter what formation you want to play if you've got 11 fit players, or we're on a bare bones or ass most of the time, haven't we? The last few games. And I feel like, a decent performance, an away point at Liverpool, and then it looks like we're starting to see some of the players coming back, and that could make a massive difference. The timing of that could be absolutely critical, right? So, we'll talk about the player availability for the game tomorrow night in a minute, but I still find relegation Richie is our secret weapon. I just think that nobody knows how to grind out points in a relegation battle more than him. It's like his speciality. It's almost worth keeping him around. Hopefully we don't need him. We don't need that particular set of skills after this season, but we might be very grateful. If he goes in the summer and his goals have kept us up, he will go with my blessing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But you make a good point about players returning. So I don't have a great deal else to cover in terms of Liverpool game, other than to say I thought it was a great point. And
I think the Liverpool fans were really upset, weren't they?
Well, doesn't
Gutted.
it show you how relative success can be, right? Because you look at where Liverpool are in the league, I'd bite your hand off for that.
Exactly. But they are not they're not really competitive at the top, which is where they want and expect to be. And bearing in mind, they spent like the national debt of Brazil on players in the summer, and they've looked worse than they did last season.
It's not a Liverpool pod, but I personally think it's a bit laughable that Slot would lose his job. I mean, he's got to have so much credit in the bank for winning the league. Like, you have to give him the next season. I think it's... I listened to BBC 606 phone-in podcast the other day. A Liverpool fan was calling in saying, we need a new manager bounce. We need somebody who understands the club. Get Steven Gerrard in there. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, my God.
Like...
Jesus.
Yeah, so strange behaviour. But you make a good point, right? We've got some players returning, and let's talk about it. We've got Atletico. First off, are you going, Graeme, to the game?
No, I decided. I think that
was when we thought we were going to get absolutely pumped.
The ticket window closed, I think, and actually, I could probably still get a ticket if I wanted to, but I've got a lot on at work at the moment, and I could do without the journey there and back. But I'll watch it from home.
But it sounds as though we could see Bergvall on the bench.
So in training, Bergvall's been on the grass in training. Udogie's back and can play. I'm hoping he starts. Mero's back as well after his concussion from the previous game, which was that game was mad, wasn't it? Gallagher is not 100%. We talked about it a little bit. He's had a virus and he's got some issue related to asthma that may mean he might not be available, but he might be on the bench. Pellegrini is out. He's not recovered from the head injury that he got as part of the concussion that he also got when he took out Romero. No Richie, he's suspended. And
that's fine.
Solanke's not 100%,
okay
which I think I would have been okay with. I really hope he's available, Solanke, because I think we'll need him with no Richie. We'll need more of a presence.
Well, I think wrap Richie up in cotton wool for every Premier League minute, because we need
I'm fine. I'm fine with him sitting in. You can send him off for a massage with a happy ending if necessary.
Where do you sit on Van der Ven? Like, I assume he'll play against Atletico Madrid. I suspect he will.
Probably comes back.
Would you revert
back four? I'd stick with the back four.
But does
I hope he does, but we'll see.
If you look ahead, we're going to do another pod between the two, right, to review the Champions League and look ahead properly to Forest. But let's just think for a moment, looking ahead to Forest. Do you think Van der Ven and Romero play, or do you think Danso plays? Depending on what happens on Wednesday night, I think Danso is earned his right to start ahead of Van der Ven.
No doubt that I'd be happy if he started. But then, you're right. Do you play? But then if he reverts to a 3, Danso's the third, right? And
then Sousa, Spence, or Porro on the right,
or Udogie.
Or Udogie.
Udogie and Porro.
Take it for what it's worth, but a lot of Dutch football fans think it's nuts that he plays at centre-back for us. He's a left-back for them.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, he's a really good full-back. So it's like... So I'd be interested to see what he does there. But so you're not going to attend...
I think we should probably talk about he did a press conference today. I don't know if you've seen that because you've been...
I haven't. Oh, Van der Ven.
Yeah.
I've seen a snippet of it. I haven't seen
it all. So basically, he talked about...
He debunked
it was all...
the
It's all he said it was all rubbish, that, the discussions about someone saying they didn't give a shit and they're out, they're going to leave anyway, don't care if they're relegated. Apparently that's all bullshit. And the players are quite upset because they think, and rightly think, that some of the supporters think it's true and that they start to get down on the players, which it's, if it is completely fabricated, then that's pretty bad, right? I feel it must be difficult. It must be a difficult enough dressing room without that shit floating around as well.
I don't disagree, but one thing I'll say to that is, be it staving off relegation or going for a top four or going well in cups, we've heard this a lot from this group of players, that we know we need to be better, we care. Then go out and show it. Like, if you go out band event and prove that, fine.
Yeah.
Then I'll agree and I'll admit, it must have been bullshit. But the performances up to this point from him at times have been a bit shit. So it's like, hopefully it is bullshit, because I don't want any of that in the dressing room. I want them to be united.
I want them all to be kind of galvanised and pulling in the same direction.
Yeah.
And I think tomorrow night is almost a free hit, isn't it? Like, we're 3-0 down. Show us something. Show us what you can do. I don't mind if they don't. If we put in a great performance and on the night we don't lose, I'd take that into the Forest game. I'd take that again. Just that little bit of confidence again, like that.
In a world of away goals, which we don't have anymore, a 3-0 win would actually put us through. If there are away goals still, but it won't.
So
a 3-0 win.
We need to call on the spirit of Lucas Moura in Amsterdam,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. Look, from a prediction point of view, I think we'll win the game, and I think we'll lose the tie. Maybe we'll win the game 2-1 or something. And look, or you just never know, though, do you? Like, imagine if we did what they did to us, like in terms of we go into an early 2-goal lead. You just never know.
It would make it an interesting match, wouldn't it?
Oh, it certainly will be. But also,
and they don't travel well. They
haven't won. When did they? They haven't won a lot of away games.
They have a really strong home record, but I don't think they travel well in Europe anyway.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Yeah, Bodo went there and won. I didn't know that. Real Madrid. Yeah, okay. So look, I think
Bodo got pumped tonight, didn't they? I think Sporting beat them.
Bodo can't have grass, mate. They're amazing in their plastic pitch, but when it comes to grass, they can't do it.
Yeah.
So did Chelsea. They got absolutely pumped. Liam Rossini, he won't be there.
At home, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they lost 5-2 away, and then they lost 3-0 at home. But the point being, could you also argue we really could do without any extra time and extra minutes?
Oh God,
like,
yeah.
We don't need it.
No, we actually don't want it. But if we had extra time, I just put the kids on.
Another little checkpoint for looking ahead, just touched on very briefly, the Forest game is they play away. They are
in Europe. They're in Europa, aren't they?
Correct. They're going to, what's it?
Tell me it's a long way away.
Is it Denmark? Anyway, the point is they're losing 1-0 on aggregate.
Yeah.
They can go there and turn it around. They could push to extra time. They're very much in their tie, is the point I'm making. So they've got to travel, then they've got to come back. It's that Thursday, Sunday. So let's hope that plays into our favour as well. But let's try and do this for tomorrow's game then. The lineup, I look on FOTMob for mine. They've got Solanke up top, Simmons, Moani, Tell behind them, Gray and Sarr again in the middle, Van der Ven, Danso, Porro, Spence at left back, Vicario in goal. I don't know if that will be what he does.
Can you imagine if he starts Kinski? That would be balls the size of grapefruits, wouldn't it?
How good.
From both Kinski and from Tudor as well.
Yeah. You won't slip on this pitch. We're going to give you a go. I think Simmons could be quite important. He looked quite good when he came on against Liverpool. He really did. He looked really
He's
tidy.
Industrious, right?
Yeah.
We just need to get him in the right areas of the pitch.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think I agree with you, though. It's going to be quite something.
I'm not hung up on the result. I just want to see another performance. I don't mind if we go out at this stage, because Premier League survival is infinitely more important to the future of the club than this particular fixture.
Yeah. I'm just so happy that we're going into this fixture and then hopefully the next fixture with a bit of positive momentum and a bit of.
It's been, once you're in that, it's kind of constant downward spiral, isn't it? It's very difficult to kind of get to lift anyone. Even the supporters are kind of have been really needing that performance at Liverpool.
Well,
to
and
just
the away fans were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we've got to carry that into home games as well, right? We've got to get
Yeah.
everybody behind us. Like, it's got to be a siege mentality. Speaking of the Forest game, and we will cover it in more detail, but are you going to go to that? Or are you...
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you're
Just
going.
so something I want to mention, that there was a hit piece in the Daily Mail. Someone from the Daily Mail, a report from Daily Mail, was in the away supporters end. So had a Tottenham ticket in the away end, and wrote a hit piece on saying how the supporters were all depressed, and it was just a shitty piece of journalism, in my opinion. But also, I want whoever sold him that ticket to lose their season ticket. I'd be fucked if I. It's just not right. I mean, it's so difficult for fans to get away tickets.
Well, it goes back to your point.
Yeah, and we had this conversation about how it's almost impossible for anyone who's not got
a
million.
Circle of cartel, because it's like, to get the points you go, to get the points.
You need the points to get the points, and once you get the points, you keep getting the points, and no one else gets the points. Yeah. And I think that, so somebody's passed a ticket on to him, because if it was an official reporter, like a journalist ticket, he'd have been in with the journalists, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was in with the away supporters. So he was specifically there to report on the away fans.
Yeah.
So I'm not happy with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Not happy with that at all. So if you're listening, Daily Mail.
Yeah, Daily Mail, yeah. Well, look, before we wrap up, let's put an actual full-on score prediction on Atletico. I think we will win the game 3-1. Honestly, I can see us like levelling it on aggregate and everyone getting a bit excited, and then them scoring, and then it'd just be over.
I wouldn't be surprised that something like that happened. Yeah. We run out of steam a little bit or something towards the end of the match.
Yeah. But very encouraging to know we can look to the bench with decent options.
Yeah, and to have some senior players on the bench as well.
Yeah.
Although it's, not a lot to, if there's not a lot to lose, I'd be quite happy for some of the youngsters to get blooded again.
Absolutely.
Save people if people aren't 100%, I'd rather save them, give them another few days of training, bring them in for the weekend.
Seeing youth, that creates a bit more of a connection with the club for us fans, because it's like you're seeing a pathway. You're seeing for kids that have been there since they were 5 and 6 years old, and are probably Tottenham fans, or probably from the local area. And that touches on what Richard said last week. We're losing a bit of that.
And I don't disagree, but the situation that we're in means that we don't take any risks or any chances. Right. So if we it was a bit different on the weekend, because I think it was more of a time-wasting tactic to waste a couple of minutes with a couple of substitutions. I think, and also the fact that we were threadbare. We didn't have a lot of other options on the bench. If we've got senior players on the bench, then they will probably come on for this. Not this, actually for the match tomorrow. Put your boots, put what you like on. But for Forest, that game is way too important for us to take any risks.
Agreed.
Probably the most important of the remaining fixtures, purely because of the fact that they're in the mire with us.
It certainly is. And then obviously you've got the Leeds one in May, but then the other fixture, and we're going to do pods long before this, but the other one that I look at where we probably could get something as well is away to Sunderland. And the reason I say that is Sunderland are a bit on the beach at the moment. Like, they're not going down. They're not going to push for European football. They're probably finished somewhere between 10th. And they've not been great of late. So I'm wondering if we can actually go there and nick something, maybe even a win. And interestingly, the weekend before us, they go to Newcastle in a massive time derby. So, yeah, I mean, I'm maybe getting ahead of myself, but I do think the Sunderland away game is a fixture that
we still got Wolves to play as well.
We do, yeah. We go to Wolves as well.
Mind you, they've been pretty, as you said,
they seem to have a bit of fight about them. Yeah.
Well, maybe they can get that out of their system before they play us.
Hopefully. Well, they might even be down.
Is it Everton's last game, isn't it? I think
Everton at home's last game. Yeah.
But maybe they can do Richie a favour after he's done them a few favours, right?
No, absolutely. We'll cover all of that and more, I'm sure, on many more pods. But just touching on Everton, the thing I mentioned about the fans rocking up, that is very reminiscent of what Everton did in that run, right? They had flares. It was like just a very siege mentality atmosphere. We need to try and build some of that ourselves outside.
Yeah, so it's some real positivity around the fans, around the stadium.
Yeah.
Just trying to lift the players a little bit. Hopefully they'll give us something to cheer about. which will
I
be
think
great.
so. Yeah.
Long
Let's
overdue.
hope that tomorrow is a moral victory in the sense, even if we don't win, it's a good performance, or if we do win and lose the tie, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's a springboard going into Forest.
They are a good team.
Yeah.
I hope that we can at least,
We
after
created
such an
look,
abysmal first game, and as you said, I think we said it like we gifted them the first 3 goals.
Yeah.
After that, it was a much more even contest. But
Absolutely, it was.
you do
We
wonder
created a lot.
whether they'd like take the foot off the gas a little bit because they didn't really need to push too hard. But away from home, very different prospect.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, that's all I had for this week. A shorter episode and probably a less lively one in the sense I think it's the first one in a while that we've not had a guest join us.
And it's also been the first one where neither of us have been on suicide watch.
yeah, indeed. Where it's like actually feels like worthwhile getting up for talking about and actually
exactly.
right.
Exactly.
You know,
felt much brighter around the place.
No, indeed.
After a decent performance.
Yeah, no, indeed. Well, nothing more from me other than to say, as always, come on, you Spurs.
Thanks to everyone who's listened in. Please like and subscribe to the podcast to tickle the algorithm so we can get in front of more Spurs supporters. And do let us know in the comments what you think of our chances in the upcoming matches. And to close us out, as Glenn said, come on, you Spurs.